everybody. Welcome to the Wednesday show. I'm your host, Sanguine Mathghamhain. I have with me my co-host, Sanguine Mathghamhain.
Hello.
And Terry Diamantis.
Hey, everyone.
It's going to be a fun show tonight, I can tell you right now, because I am in so much pain.
Ooh.
I was stupid enough to think that I could power wash my car, and I got everything all put together and out ready to start washing everything down, and I just turned the wrong way and pulled a muscle in my back. And ow.
Yeah.
And of course, that was really enough in the day that my customary pre-show nap couldn't happen. So I'm in pain and I'm tired. So it's going to be a great show. Brilliant.
Yeah.
How you doing, Terry?
I'm alright. I'm a bit tired as well. Just, I don't know, sleeping problems with noisy neighbours and such, but I'm fine.
And I think Jen, you said before the show started you were tired as well.
I just, I Wednesday's always kind of the busiest day for me, but it was a little bit miscommunication on my part. I probably could have taken a nap when I got home, and I didn't.
Welcome to the Sleepy Show on Wednesday. Let's check in with our topics for the night. We have Formula None, which is what's going on with baby formula. We're sending money to Ukraine, but we can't feed our babies. What? And rumor has it that the FDA plays a part here, so we'll get into that. Speaking of Ukraine, let's send them $40 billion while we're starving our children. That's another brilliant move by the Biden administration. And finally, Dinesh D'Souza's movie 2000 Mules was released, and of course controversy ensues, so we're probably going to be talking about that tonight. There's a couple other things that have happened out in the real world that I want to get to too, but we'll see what happens, because all three of us are probably going to get off the show at exactly 1 hour mark because we're all tired. So who we have in chat, Kira Dan was here early because she got sent home from work early. I didn't get a chance to read why. Maybe she was a bad girl. I don't know. Assassin of the Gray is out there. OG Costin has joined us. Cynic. Hey, Cynic. How's it going, buddy? And that's who we've got right now. Of course, everyone will show up about halfway through the show, so that's coming. Is there anything else you guys wanted to touch on tonight besides the topics that I had come up with?
I just thought it was funny in chat. Jen has magic hair.
Well, I've been called out for the hair tit. Honest to God, I don't do anything to my hair. It's just the lighting in my room. It's also
we had this conversation before the show, just before the show. As a matter of fact, the show was almost late because Terry said, "Hey, it's 9 o'clock." Okay, yeah, probably should start. But yeah, I it does look red. I mean,
yeah. It's just like I said, I just have magic tints, so I call it magic hair. I'm like, whatever.
Just go for it, man. Yeah, I'm
like
redhead.
My hair is like a glowworm; it just changes color. I wish it was mood changing. That'd be funny.
Hey, Mike R has joined us in chat. How you doing, Mike?
Hi, Mike.
So let's talk about the formula thing, because this is really bothering me. We're sending all this cash to Ukraine, to a Soviet state, to fight another Soviet state, right? And rumor has it, and I didn't get a chance to track this down. I didn't get any detail about it, but supposedly the largest manufacturer of formula for children, for babies, was closed down by the FDA, and they have been closed for 3 months without any description of why.
Well, I know why. It's because they missed their chance to abort the babies. They're coming in for a second swing.
Yeah, this is post-birth abortion.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually remember Cenk talking about that when Anna was having her conniption on that same show. He's like, It can't be post-birth abortion. That's not abortion. Abortion is why you're still in the womb. And technically,
Yeah.
he's right. So what he's doing is he's arguing for infanticide. It's
Yes.
like, wait a minute. You went from really bad to a lot worse. And you think that's some kind of own or a win?
Well, he also thinks having sex with animals is
Yeah.
totally fine as long as it's for the animal's pleasure. So
As long
I
as the
wouldn't take
animal
Cenk too
gets off.
seriously.
No. So yeah, so apparently, I don't know, maybe it's some kind of salmonella thing, but the FDA is not saying why. Nobody knows why that they closed this huge plant down for baby formula. So is this like, the conspiracy theory? Hi, Spud Gun. There's and Green Badger. Welcome to the show. Is it a logical conspiracy theory, considering how many conspiracy theories recently have become fact?
Yeah.
Is this another conspiracy theory that's going to turn out to be the FDA made a mistake? The FDA is doing this on purpose to drive up prices. The FDA is just trying to put pressure on the economy. What's going on here? I can't find
I
anything.
think Biden just wants people to hate him, and so he's trying to
It's working.
do as much as possible to make that happen. So sending billions of dollars to Ukraine while American babies are starving seems like a really good way to make people hate you, and so that's the way to go.
The great thing is it's going to make both sides hate you, because regardless
Yeah.
if you're Republican or Democrat, people need to feed their kids, and Democrats don't appreciate this very much. They've already seen the gas prices. In the areas that are worst hit are Democratic areas. California's price is now $5.12 a gallon of gas. That's nuts. That's crazy. And
Yeah, it's like when they were putting those stickers of
Biden, I did this.
I saw a funny video where this loony lefty guy was pointing at the gas prices saying, "Putin, I'm sending you a bill."
Yeah, like it's Putin's fault. Did you ever see
like
that
Putin would
graph?
pay it even if he sent it.
Yeah, did you see that graph where it shows when Biden came in, what happened to the economy before Putin? There's a period of time where Putin is not on scene yet. He's not causing any problems. He's just himself, just walking around doing nothing important. But Biden has been in power for like 9 months. There's a shaded out period on the chart showing the gas prices going from like $2.12 to $3.50 or something like that during his time period. And then, there, of course, when Putin comes in, there's a sharp rise. So it's not like Putin didn't have any impact, but apparently Biden doesn't want to take any kind of responsibility for the part where he was responsible for.
Well, yeah, I'm sitting here as a Canadian going, if I had the funds to make a gag, I would totally set up a little lemonade stand just in front of the border, but instead of lemonade, it's gasoline. Just be like, "Hey, America, remember this? There was a Keystone Pipeline." And actually, you should do more than just that. But that's just me being greedy, because
that was first day for him, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He sat down first day on the job and said, "Okay, the first thing we're going to do is get rid of the Keystone Pipeline."
Yeah.
It's
I'm not saying it would have fixed all your problems. It wouldn't have, but it would have made them a little bit less bad. A lot less bad.
It may not have fixed all the problems, but I don't think we would be looking at $5 gas in California.
Yeah.
But he did more than that. He killed the XL pipeline, then he stopped drilling and stopped giving out permits and stop. And once you stop that shit, it's hard to get everything started again. It takes a year, because when you stop it, what happens? Well, the oil companies say, well, we don't need these people anymore because we can't drill. So we're going to pay them just to sit on their ass, fire them. And then when you want to start back up, we don't have any people.
That's basically what happened. That is what happened. That is entirely what happened, because it's also a lack of faith in the project, because the Keystone, this has been going on for almost 15 to 20 years. This isn't just a 10-year thing. They were almost finished that project. They were on their way to being done, I think. And I'm giving out a little bit of information, but I got it from Cryptic, who was working on it. They were a month or two away from being complete. So getting it all started again with everyone being gone, And it's been almost a year. That's a
Yeah.
lot of money. You're gonna have to ask for a lot of money.
Yeah, and the people who have been fired, of course, have gotten new jobs,
Mhm.
so that they
Well,
don't
yeah.
aren't intending to go back to a job that they could get fired from again. Who knows? They're stable and they got
Mm.
money coming in. Why would I go back to that job? You know, even if it did pay good. And so, what are you gonna do? Hire more people? They're not qualified. You
Mm.
know, where are you gonna find an oil rigger on 5 minutes notice? You know, you gotta be
Yeah,
trained
I'll
to do
do it.
that. He'll do it.
I'll do it.
I'll do it.
I'll be fine.
Oh, I should probably mention this. Um, the Assassin of the Gray. How you doing, Assassin? Um, his name and my name both began with the word the. So if
True.
you wanted to send something to me and you type the, you would get asked which one, me or him.
Mhm.
So I changed my name to straight up Hammer. I got rid of the on the front. So it would be easier for someone who wanted to send something in chat to me. They could just type @HA and hit tab, and it would
Or
fill
just
out the
at
rest of my name.
Minions.
I'm sorry?
At Minions would send it to.
Well, that's the reason why I'm mentioning this, is because when Assassin talks to me, when a lot of people talk to me in the show, I guess because I'm running the show, they @Minions. And that's on a separate window that I don't even look at.
Oh, okay.
When I type in, I type from my Hammer account because I have it set up on the screen specifically so I can watch chat. It's in a good place. And the chat for the show is attached to another window that's off the side on another screen that I don't ever look at. And the red catches my eye, so I look and I see it, but I specifically, to make things easier for everyone so they can just type @HA so they don't get us mixed up. And it's a lot shorter. Hammer's a lot shorter than the one-ton hammer. And people still call me by that even now. I mean, it's been, what, 2 years, 3 years I've been using this tag, and people still refer to me as the one-ton hammer. By now, everybody knows me. Just call me Hammer. You know,
I'm going to say no.
we're all
Calling
friends
Theo.
here.
Calling Theo Neatonhammer.
Yeah. You're the only person who's ever said that, you know.
I call you Hammer Time sometimes.
Assassin says, I had no idea what your chat handle was until this evening. Oh, BP's in chat. Hi, Blind Press.
Hello.
You got to be kidding me. You knew my name was Hammer. What is he?
Yeah.
He's fucking with me, isn't he? Okay, whatever. And on top of all this, because I put the little TM at the end, if you @HA and hit tab and hit enter to say something to me, it's supposed to give you that red highlight. But because the TM in my name is not the same TM that you get when you type in the name, it doesn't show up as red.
Yeah. Oops.
I'm gonna have to take the TM off the end for it to work properly. Anyway.
Well, if you do @HA and then just use the autofill, it'll do the TM in the right font.
No, actually, it doesn't.
Doesn't it?
No.
You're right, because I saw it in the menu. It shows up correctly, but if you actually choose it, it changes the font.
Yeah, sitting here looking at my name, it's got the right font. It's the same font that we see in StreamYard. If you look at my name in StreamYard, it has a little TM that's highlighted. It's a superscript. It's above.
Yeah.
But the one that you get when you type in the chat gives you this grayed out large TM. It's not the same font.
Yeah.
So
no,
when someone, I'm gonna have to take the TM off for it to work properly. Even people who know me are like, if I go on like Monkey in the Morning or the After Party or something like that, he still calls me by my full name. It's like, we call you Monkey, but people can't call me Hammer. I don't get it. I'm a nice guy.
I call you Hammer.
You do.
I'm gonna chill for Monkey. Just a little. Just because he said the other night, he is going to start doing a rescheduling for a kind of an 8:00 show. It's going to be a hit and miss with him because, you know, like he said before when he left the Lords of the Night, he's always kind of being scheduled around his health, you know.
Yeah.
But he said he is going to start making his show based off of the 8 o'clock hour, just because he realizes that not having consistency means that he doesn't get as many viewers. And Scribe is sitting there like,
Who would have thought about that?
No, I've told him. I said
Amazing
the reason I don't
news.
watch Monkey. I've told him the reason I don't watch Monkey in the morning is because I never know when it's on, and I'm usually doing something when I get the notification. Whereas if I know it's on this time on this day, like Lords of the Night was, I will make sure I'm not doing something at that time so I can watch it.
Yeah.
So he's going to run 8 o'clock?
Yeah, yeah. It's going to,
cool.
like, it's not necessarily going to be every night, like, because it is based off his health, and we all know that, like that, and he should, but it's good. And honestly, it's a good time for him too, because he's going to pick everybody.
Yeah.
You know, like,
that's cool. That's cool. He's going to 8 o'clock.
He was worried about missing his Aussie audience, and I was just in the tap. Well, don't you worry about that. I mean, we talk to Terry all the time.
It is Monkey in the morning, so you would think he would stream it like the morning.
Think he knows what time of the day it is.
But it's probably going to be morning for me. So
there you go.
That's what. Yeah,
it's just on Aussie time.
That's his thing, anyways. He says it's always morning somewhere. That's how he gets away with it.
Right.
8 o'clock's going to be tough for this show. If he does it on a Wednesday, it's going to be tough on the Monday show with Inquisitor, because he also streams at 8, so we'll be fighting with each other.
And probably be tough on the corner, because that's at the same time on Fridays.
The people who are going to be able to get away with it are the 11:30 people for Minions. So.
Yeah, but I mean, there's going to be people who watch like the first hour of Monkey in the morning, then come here.
Keyram says he can stream in, the morning.
There's also the factor where, like, I sometimes I play favorites where I will play multiple streams if I know it's friends, but I'll only listen to one, just so that I'm still showing a view, because it will play a view for you. But if it's Monkey and he's talking about, like, his Monkey MGTOW, blah, 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 sometimes I'll play somebody else who's talking about something more relevant, and then I'll tune back in and be like, oh, okay, he's talking about something more funny. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I
don't mind MGTOW. It's just sometimes he takes it too weird.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he is less. I mean, he argues with me about it, but he says, I think his argument with me is that it just seems very bleak and lonely to adopt that outlook. And I guess, I mean, I got a girlfriend. I've always had a girlfriend, so it's not bleak or lonely for me. But my reasons for it are different than the average man-hating, angry MGTOW guy.
Well, I mean, strictly speaking, I would qualify as MGTOW. I mean, I don't really use the label or anything, but
you live
given the tenets of, I mean, I'm very happy on my own. I'm not looking to get a girlfriend. I'm just happy being, on my own and using the internet to hang out with people that I'm friends with.
Yeah.
Here's the real difference, though. Like, in terms of MGTOW, the reason I wouldn't hang out with some MGTOW is some MGTOW take it to a level where they will punish you as a woman, simply because you are the woman. And it's like feminists do that too. So right away, your angle is lost with me, because I've never met you before. I don't know you. I don't know your interactions with women. I don't doubt you've met assholes before, because I have too, and I am female.
I don't subscribe to these guys either.
There's going to be bad representatives of any movement,
and that's just it. Yeah.
I mean, there's plenty of MGTOW channels that I'm actually fine with watching. There's a Better Bachelor is like, he's pretty even keel. He doesn't hate women, though a lot of his audience does. Like, if you read the comments, they really hate women, but the guy himself is actually pretty centered and like sensible.
But I mean, I follow quite a few MGTOW or at least MRA, and it's just one of those things where I don't have a problem with hearing criticism, because sometimes it's stuff that you wouldn't know if you didn't hear it. You would
say
know.
MRAs and MGTOWs don't really have much in common.
Yeah, yeah, they're often mentioned in the same sentence, but they're two completely different ideas.
Yeah.
MRAs have hope.
Yeah.
MGTOWs know better.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. No, but I mean, I've had my run-ins with Sandman and Angry MGTOW and
Oh, those guys are nuts.
Flinging Monkey. Remember him?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard of him. I've never actually seen any of his stuff, but
Yeah.
I've heard the name. I think it was
So,
Turd Flinging Monkey, wasn't it?
yeah, something like that. But I mean, they're every bit as bad as Riley Dennis or
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
they're
I mean, I will never get over butter-scented mind control vaginas from Sandman. That is the funniest thing I've ever heard in my life. And David M is
I've been with
agreeing.
girls
It's
my
Turd
entire
Flinging.
life. Butter never really ever came into my mind.
No, but that Monkey had it in a video. He played a clip of Sandman talking about how women use their butter-scented vaginas to mind control men, and it's like,
They're not.
that is
butters.
hilarious.
I've never encountered a woman who's. Most women are very big on hygiene. Women smell like strawberries and vanilla extract. They smell awesome. Very rarely you run into a girl who's not taking care of herself, and we know what that odor is. That's the same for a guy who doesn't take care of himself. So I never really got the whole idea of where does he get that from?
I have no fucking idea.
Does anybody know? I have no clue either. How did we get off on this subject?
Who cares? It's great.
It's embarrassing to me because that's why I don't really push it anymore. I try to avoid the subject because from the it's gotten this.
I don't judge you. It's like every movement. It's like
Yeah.
I don't doubt that in the beginning with some people who were feminists, and I mean that. I mean the beginning. I'm not talking about current people. There were probably reasons why they really felt they needed to do the things they did.
Mhm.
I don't even know if I agree with it back then either, because like the history on that is kind of, they always don't tell you everything.
Yeah.
But nowadays they twist everything, and it doesn't matter what group you're in. You might have some things in line. That's why I go egalitarian on it. Like you try to go as fair as you can to the best of your abilities, and some stuff you just have to bite the bullet on because we are different as genders. We are just different as genders. I can never reach those top shelves, no matter how hard I try.
Keith says she's got the link to Sandman's mind controlling vagina video.
Are you guys watching chat? Chat is lit on this subject. I'm telling you.
Like, where's my mind controlling vagina? Jeez.
Just don't smell like patchouli, or I'll throw you in the dumpster where you belong. That's true cynic.
Well, it's like every time an American tells me about how I have magical powers to move my weather down south, and I'm like, why would I move it back?
Yeah, see,
wow.
Blind says MRA is one thing, MGTOW is just boop shoopy crazy.
Yeah.
But you've never heard, you've probably never been exposed to the legitimate reasons for that. I think am I the only one who has like a legitimate reason for it? Because whenever I go into an argument about MGTOW, they're like, there's no justification, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, yeah, but what about this? And they're suddenly like, oh, well, yeah, there's that. And that's the only reason I ever put out is because I don't want to go to divorce court and lose my children.
I forget whose stream it was, but there was someone who had you on, and they ended up agreeing with all your points while still disagreeing with MGTOW as an idea.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't remember. I had that person on my stream. His name was Ryobi or something like that.
I couldn't tell you.
They had a panda as an avatar, and he was going to prove me wrong. And I was like, all right, dude, come on my stream and we'll talk about it. And in 5 minutes, I had him against the wall.
No, the one I'm thinking of was a woman.
Was it a woman?
Yeah, there was a woman. They invited you onto the stream. And I remember they had this annoying Eminem song on a loop before the stream even started. And when the stream did start, it was basically you would say something, they would agree, and then still disagree that MGTOW made sense. They agreed with everything you said, except that MGTOW makes sense.
I don't even know if I should consider myself in that frame anymore. It's more of a constitutional issue than anything else. It's really not a philosophy like most people believe who are in that believe it's a philosophy, and it is, but I don't know if I believe straight up in the philosophy. I see what happens to men when things don't work out. So that's good reason for me not to want to get involved in any of that stuff. That makes
sense
technically makes me in that philosophy. But the reason I'm doing it is because the way society puts men in a bad position, it's simply not worth the risk. The only thing that's been beneficial to me is she doesn't want to get married. My girlfriend doesn't want to get married. And she's never been married. I've been married once, and it wasn't a bad experience. My wife was very nice about our breakup and all that kind of stuff. She gave me one of the 2 cars. You know, she gave me half the furniture. There's no financial requirements. We just walked separate. Here you go that way. I go that way. Everybody's happy. So I'm not. You know, I always hear, "Well, who hurt you?" And that's very condescending. This is not about an emotional response. It's just that I don't feel it's fair as a man, a male, because I believe those are the same thing, that I should be put in a position where my life can be ruined on a whim. Especially, it's just too stacked. If I could get married and get a no-fault divorce and not lose half my shit, visitation to my kids, and happiness for the rest of my life, then everything's good, man. I have no problems with getting married. It's just the financial and structural part of it that turns me away.
My reasons are even simpler. I like being alone, and having a girlfriend would reduce the amount of time I could spend alone.
I mean, I could see the argument on the other side for you, because women are great, man. My girlfriend allows me, I don't say makes me, because I don't make her and she doesn't make me, but allows me to be happier than I would be in a lot of circumstances. There are times where I want to be alone. She'll give me my space, you know, and I don't need to be as alone personally as much as you do. And that's fine. Everybody's different, and that's cool. And I enjoy my alone time. And if I want to be alone, I just walk away, and she doesn't bother me. And that's beautiful. I come in to do the show, and I tell her, well, it's going to be an hour. I'm going to do the show from 9 to 10. And she's like, all right, cool. Every Wednesday. Okay, fine. I'm going to do Blind Press's stream, Saturday at 5. Okay, no problem. Never an issue. She's never a nagger or a whiner or any of that kind of shit. And if she wants to go somewhere, get in the car and go shopping or do whatever she wants to do, okay, fine. Go, whatever. It's no big deal.
I think I'm happy just being friends with people. I don't want all the sort of complications of being specifically attached to an individual. I've got female friends. One of them I'm streaming with right now. I'm just happy to leave it as let's just be friends. I don't want to get.
I'm not swimming the ocean for you, Terry. I had a dude from New Zealand who tried very hard, and I was like, listen, the logistics of that are so no. I don't know enough about Australia. I don't. I honestly don't.
I'm a very solitary person, and I'm happy the way I am. I don't need to get another person deeply entangled into my life. I've got friends. Friends is good.
Would you be okay with just dating? I mean,
if I met someone whose company I enjoyed and who lived local to me, then yeah. I mean, I'd be quite happy with that.
That's completely reasonable. Because sex is fun. Women have some benefits. It's an awful thing to say. I'm sorry, Jen. Oh God.
Well, no, you're fine. I'm actually
all right.
I'm kind of thinking about my best friend at this point because she's kind of like the female version of a MGTOW. Not because she didn't want a partner, but because she actually did have similar fears, and it's because of her family history. I'm actually surprised that's not still kind of a little bit of a thing, or at least a running gag, because the daddy issue girls, like, she didn't have daddy issues. It's just she had issues with divorce. You know, because even though her parents tried to divorce as friendly as possible, and they were friendly with each other, like anytime I saw them do an exchange, they were friendly in front of each other, but the court system was bad to him.
Yeah.
And she didn't see that and walk away from it thinking it was good. Her brothers didn't, you know, so she refused to get married. Refused. She has a
Yeah.
partner. She does the taxes with, you know, she does taxes properly. She's got a partner, but she refuses to get married because, like, the system is just not stacked right. And you should be able to have a divorce. It's not fair to keep people together if they're just really not happy.
Well, you can do that. If the woman wants to
Yeah.
divorce amicably,
Yeah.
that's certainly possible. But the
They
chances
don't do
are, when there's
They
kids
wouldn't do-
involved
Mhm.
and you're making a lot of money, that you're going to end up paying alimony. We have to say hello to a bunch of people who joined in chat. Mr. Adam, our Sunday night show, and Wandering Lisa, and somebody else joined. Who else? Oh, Sir Adamantine is in chat too. Welcome, everybody. We're
To
talking.
the best of my knowledge, my parents divorced quite amicably. I mean, I'm sure he had to pay child support, but like she didn't take him for everything he had.
Yeah,
There's
my
just,
dad,
like,
my dad passed, so my parents were together until he passed.
Hmm.
So
I only saw him once a week, like on the weekends. But I mean, that is just, you know, the nature of the visitation rights. But I think she seemed, from memory, she seemed to be quite willing to let him be involved in my life because he was my dad. I mean, it would be quite cruel to keep that from him. So
hey, Spud Gun says the courts will not allow the split to be amicable, and that I can speak from experience to say that that is not true, because the split between me and
to a
my
degree,
wife
it's true.
was amicable.
Because Karen Strawn was actually talking about this when she split from her husband. There was a lot of pressure on her to take the husband for everything he had.
Sure.
And she had to actively resist. She was like, no, I don't want to do that. I want this to be fair. I want this to be even, like, reasonable. I'm not trying to destroy this man's life. And her lawyer and everyone was like, oh, no. If you say this, you can get like double the money. You've got to do this. I'm not trying to do that.
Yeah.
So I think there's definitely pressure on women to take their husband for everything they've got, whether they want to or not.
Yeah. No, I hear you. It really is up to the character of the woman.
Yeah.
What you gotta, I mean, when you're looking at somebody to become a partner of yours, you have to take that into account. So
I would really be looking at how she is in an argument. And I know that sounds sad, but that's kind of the truth of the matter. Like, if she can't handle a disagreement or an argument and then come back and come to a reasonable discussion like an adult, that's not a good sign for a divorce.
yeah.
I'm just saying. Because bitter women are scary. As a woman, I fear bitter women more than anything else.
I can only speak from my experience. Am I the only person here who's been married? You guys haven't been married, right?
No.
I have not.
Yeah,
No.
I can speak from experience, and I only have one person. I was only married once, so I don't have a lot of experience as far as divorces go. But yeah, my wife was we just, you know, I don't want to get too sappy here, but we just fell out of love with each other. Nobody was cheating or, you know, nasty or psychopath or anything like that. We just,
That
you know,
happens.
we got to a point where we're just like roommates. Like, you know, we didn't, you know, we are just kind of going through the motions. And she said, "Are you?" And I'm like, "No." "Are you?" And she's like, "No." I was like, what are we doing? You know, it's not like we were unhappy. We didn't hate each other. It's just there was nothing there anymore. So it was just like, well, what do you want to do? I was like, I don't see a reason to stay together if we're just being roommates, you know.
Are you still kind of friends though? Like, I've heard
of
people actually. Yeah, that's cool. Actually,
yeah, absolutely. I mean, she's been in tight spaces, so I've been a friend, and
Yeah.
she got to a point where she was a little short on money, and I bailed her out of that and kept her afloat for a while until she got her feet underneath her.
Mhm.
She's still
It's still
my
like family.
wife. She's just my
Yeah.
ex-wife. She's the wife I
Yeah.
used to be with, but
Yeah.
she's still my
It's a weird. Yeah. I
you
could
know,
see that being like a weird family at that point. Like they're not really a sibling because they're not, but because they're your wife, you had sex with them, but at the same time, you don't have that feeling anymore. So it's like, but I still kind of know you like that.
yeah. I just don't.
Yeah.
There are certainly going to be times where you're going to split with somebody, and it's going to be on bad circumstances, and you
Hmm.
just realize that your values aren't the same, and that you see the other partner is toxic, and there could be violence, all kinds of things could happen. And I
Hmm.
can understand people turning away from each other permanently in that situation. But if it's just not that situation, if you're just two people that want to go in different directions, and it's not you're not trying to hurt each other and that kind of stuff, there's absolutely no reason not to be civil about it. If nothing else,
Of
I
course.
mean, maybe you don't
Yeah.
want to be supportive, maybe you want to get on with your own life, and that's fine. But she called me up and said, "Hey, I got this problem. I get no one else to turn to. Can you help me?" I'd be like, "Sure." I'm still friends with her. We don't
Hmm.
talk
Hmm.
much, but I know everything about her life. I know where she lives. Still know she's moved. I know where she lives. I know who she's seeing. She's single. You know. So I mean, maybe the fact that she's a different age than me maybe played a part of it, because I'll be 60 at the end of the year. She's 67 right now. She was 7 years older than me. I don't know if
Okay.
that played into the dynamic. Maybe because of her age, she was a little bit more mature. Maybe I don't know, but
Mm.
she's a great girl. I mean, she's pretty. She's smoking hot. I mean, and she's just. It's a shame. It's a shame that our hearts weren't in it anymore, because we could
Yeah.
be married to this day if that was true. Because we got along. I mean, we still do. We get along great. It's a shame. But anyway, we should probably get on to one
Next
of these.
topic.
Get on to a different topic. I don't know if I want. Do you want to talk about Ukraine? I don't know if I want to talk about Ukraine.
Well, we kind of covered that talking about the first topic because they're linked. The whole
Formula.
problem was they're sending the money instead of helping the
America
babies.
first.
I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
Very Trumpian
if
of
you
me.
if you are America, like obviously I would not be saying America first, but if you are American, you should put America first. Yes.
I love my international cast. I mean, you should be
Oh,
putting Australia first. Jen should be putting Canada first. I mean, that's just where
Exactly.
you are. You're, that's the nation that you live in.
I don't know if you can see chat.
I
But,
actually do put Canada first. I'll
There you
have you
go.
know.
There you go.
I have had the offer to hop the border. The only reason I don't is because I'm like, A, my family's all up here, and B, I kind of want to hope the fact that the people around me are going to hold together. We're gonna fix the problems up here. I don't know how, because I'm not a smart person, but I hope that we can, because I
Keith's
like my
asking you a
country.
question in chat.
There's a lot of people in my country I like. I'd like us to keep together. We're smart people. I think we're better together. It's just we got a lot of special people in our country.
You have an
We're
internal
smart.
dynamic that we don't. Well, that we don't have to the same extent. The whole deal with you and the French speaking part, you guys really butt
Oh
heads more.
gosh, they are. Oh my gosh, that is a topic all on its own.
I don't know if I'm gonna be able to answer this question without changing perspectives here. Kieran asked me, you didn't have kids with your ex-wife. No, I didn't have biological kids with my wife. She brought a child into the marriage.
Okay.
So, yeah. And my wife was married once before. And she had a child with her previous husband. And they had visitation rights, and she didn't have she had child support because she had the child more often than he did. But she didn't have spousal support, which was kind of a plus when I started dating her. I was like, he doesn't pay you? And I was like, oh, maybe this person, maybe this is going to be a good person, that they're not trying to soak their ex-husband. That kind of worked into all that. But no, we didn't have kids. I was too smart. I was, she didn't know at the time. She found out later, but I was snipped at 25. So there was never going to be any kids. But yeah, let's move on.
On that record, I'm just putting this out there as a quick one. It's one of those things I read the other day because I was avoiding the news. So for the most part, I was Walking Dead last week. But you go on Twitter long enough to post somebody's stuff, and you see stuff, and you're like, my prime minister was going around Ukraine with his son. I understand, because I think that's what his dad did to him.
Mm-hmm.
Hammer likes the MILFs, says Cannibalistic Wizard.
Not sure I want to watch chat right now. Kind of get myself in a bad position here. Yeah, I mean, you'd have to see a picture of my ex-wife to understand that she did not look like she was. First of all, she was almost 5'10", and she was a runner, so she had an amazing body, and she did not look her age. She did not look 7 years younger or older. She actually looked younger than me, and I don't look old for my age, and I didn't when I was married. I mean, I was married years ago. This didn't happen last week. So yeah, she looks significantly younger than her age. She looks younger than you would think. Like, even though she's 7 years older than me, when she was 35, she looked like she was 28. So she passed for being someone typically younger than the man. But that was part of it too, is that she spent an awful lot of time with her son, and I couldn't fault her with that. But our relationship kind of suffered because of it. She couldn't make that balance between, I have to give my man a certain amount of time, I have to give my son a certain amount of time, and she didn't balance that very well. She kind of left me out.
I've just been thinking about it. I've only ever been with younger women. I've never been with anyone older than me.
That's kind of that's the norm, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but I'm just, because you said that she was like 7 years older than you. I'm just thinking, I've never been with someone older than me.
Well, Jen has been quiet about all this.
I am, because I had moments of frustration with that. It's like, I lost a bunch of weight. Mm-hmm. Sincerely, I actually do prefer dudes my own age, or at least relative to my own age. Like, if there's a 5-year difference, that's not really a big deal to me. Okay. It really isn't. 10 years, maybe not even. At this point, I don't know that it's justified, but at the same time, I kind of think it does. Weirdly enough, I realized that with me, it's more of my maturity than anything else. I do feel absolutely flattered when a young guy hits on me, but there's also that feeling of horror, like, oh no, I can't do that. I'll take the compliments.
No, you can.
I could, but I can't.
You can. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can.
It's like this woman on Twitter the other day actually had me cringing, because she was like, I really want some guy to call me mommy, and I was like, oh no. No.
But there are advantages to younger guys. They might not have as much control, but they can curl your toes, and every woman deserves to have her toes curled. I'm telling you.
There's that part of me that feels like I would be taking advantage, and that's where I know. The guy's probably the one taking advantage of me, and that's the truth too.
Yeah,
but
at
the same time, though, I'm always going to have that feeling of fear too. Now, on the other hand, it's like, well, you know what, buddy? I'll be honest with you. I'm almost 40. So if you want to take advantage of the last 5 years of my youth, then go ahead. But I can't do that. I don't know. You'd have to talk me well.
It would kind of make sense for a woman to be older than her man, since women live longer, so they'll both die around the same time. That's a nice thought, but that's not how it works.
Yeah, kind of morbid, but yeah, that's. I don't know. I don't. Once you get past like 25 or 28 or something like that, and you're fully developed in your brain, I don't think from that part forward that numbers are really important. I mean, look at me. I married someone 7 years older, and I'm in a serious, more than dating, I'm in a dedicated relationship with a woman who's 28 years younger than me.
Hmm.
It doesn't matter. It does not matter to her or me at all. There's just nothing. It doesn't, I kind of smile a little bit when people say, "Is this your sister?" Because they can't believe that I would be dating somebody that much younger than me.
Yeah.
It's not like she looks like she's 12. She's
That would be creepy.
she's 32 years old. She's 32-year-old woman. So I mean, she doesn't, so there's never anything like, what are you, a pedo or something like that? That's never going to happen. But she's noticeably younger than me. I'm bald and gray, and she's, 32. She's in her prime.
I bet that guy's got money. I bet everyone who sees you as a couple is thinking, I bet that guy's got money.
Probably.
Because that is where people's brains will automatically go to when they see that much of an age gap, and the man is older.
Yeah. I don't know. I honestly, Jen, I wouldn't worry about it. If you find somebody that likes you, and it's legal, I wouldn't, from your perspective, finding somebody that shares your values, that you can build a relationship on, that could potentially turn permanent. I wouldn't look at the number to determine. I'm just giving you my personal opinion on this. You do what you want, but
it's not that. It's the part where I'm trying not to inflate my own ego when I'm just telling them flat off the bat that I'm 40.
yeah,
like
but
that's
don't be
actually
insecure about it.
No,
Just
I'm
because
not.
you're 40 doesn't make you any less than anybody else.
That's not the problem. They think I'm like 30 or something. I'm like, no.
Okay. Well, tell them you're 40 and keep moving.
Oh, my brother's making fun of me. He's like, that's not what I'm complaining about.
Yeah.
It's not that I'm turning 40. It's that the young guys hating on me think I'm in my 30s. And then I'm like, I have to break your heart.
Well, you are in
I'm
your
in my
30s.
40s. I'm 39.
Almost 40, you are in your 30s.
I'm 40 in like 2 days, 3 days.
Yeah, so you're still in your 30s.
Yeah.
Terry coming through at the rescue there.
It's not a big deal. I'm wondering, Lisa. It's just like I said, like if you've got like somebody who's like 25 and all of a sudden they're hitting on you and you're like, that's really flattering. But just so you know, I'm 15 years your senior. And they're like, oh. Don't get me wrong. Some of them are horrified because they're like, oh, really?
I think Kira Dame just hit on me. I'm not sure.
But
I mean, my wife was, like I said, my wife was 7 years older, and she had insecurities about her age, but not really relationship to mine. She didn't seem to matter to her that I was 7 years younger, but she did say to me, she said she was getting dressed and she had nothing on but just panties. And she turned to me and she says, "Are you sure you want to get involved with me?" She says, "Because this is how it is, and it's not going to get any better than this. This is how my body looks. I'm not going to get younger.
Yeah.
I'm only going to get older from here." And I was like, "You're smoking hot. I don't understand where this is coming from." And that was, she only did that once, where, well, I'll say twice. She had some hang-ups on her chest, but she wasn't an insecure person in general. She was very competent, very confident and competent person. But every once in a while, that little tendency for a lot of women to second guess themselves would shine through. It's the only time where I felt like uncomfortable. I felt uncomfortable because I want a woman who, this is how I think, this is how I feel, this is me, take me or leave me, and this is it. And when you start seeing that, them second guessing themselves, I'm like, don't do that. You're awesome. Just continue being the person you are. You're awesome. I wouldn't be here if I didn't think so. So I think women teeter on this, geez, I'm sounding like a life advice coach here, but they teeter on this balance being between. Yes, exactly. It's about, I was saying that. We're saying the same. You go from being entitled to being pessimistic on your own. It's just back and forth. Got to find that medium where you're comfortable with yourself.
So I think it's a mixture of advice that I took that, like I do agree with the advice. It's just how I'm trying to go about it is really difficult. So what it is they said that what a lot of dudes aren't a fan of is
Mhm.
catfishing. So what I'm trying to do is
Uh,
I'm trying to not catfish, because the thing is like I said, if I put my face out there and people are thinking I'm like in my 30s, I'm like, no, I'm actually in my 40s. It feels more like reverse catfishing.
yeah,
But you say that in front of women. You say that in front of women at work, and they all hate you.
yeah. Oh, don't let other women influence you in any way. I'm
I don't
telling you
want them to
from
hate
the
me though.
fuck them. They're not going to give you babies. They're not gonna be, in your bed in the morning. Don't let women run your. You worry about you and what you want. Don't let them. I sound like a life coach here. I don't mean to be giving you advice. I'm not a life coach. This is just my opinion. Take it or leave it. But I think that's the most toxic part about women is other women.
Mm-hmm.
Ah,
Yes.
other women will drive good women to divorce their good husbands. It's like he's a good guy.
Oh yeah, you see it all the
He's done
time.
everything for you. He's treated you with respect. He's given you a roof over your house. He's given you kids. Everything is good. He respects you. He loves you. And you're going to let another woman get in your ear and turn you into a divorcee.
Mm-hmm.
That's just so terrible. Women need to have confidence without being overconfident. That's a tough, like you said, it's a tough balance. You have a lot going for you. I sound like a life coach again. You have a lot going for you because you have a lot of things that guys like. There's nothing wrong with being a little older. Guys are not going to have really a problem with that. What the guys will have a problem with is if you have kids. They'll have problems if you've slept around a lot. There are things that guys. Do women not understand guys? I thought we were the simplest things on the planet. I really think guys are so easy to understand. But I see so many women who just don't get us. I don't understand that.
No,
You
there's
getting a
also the
degree
fact
is
that-
not going to impress me. I don't care about your degree. Are you going to take
No,
care
no,
of my
but
children? Okay, that's what's important. Go ahead, Terry. I'm sorry.
the thing is, you understand men because you are
Or
a
a
man.
man.
I'm sure women think, how can men be so retarded as to not understand us? We're simple. We just want this, this, and this. Like, I'm sure in the female mind, they're perfectly easy to understand, and men are the idiots. And to us, we think we obviously know what men want because we're men. How do women not know this? Like, I think it's just
Out of everybody here, Kiefer Dam's the only one who understands me. It's like I'm trying to learn how to come across as confident without coming across as being arrogant. And I think that's just
tough.
something I've never had that really growing up, because
Yeah,
I
that's
had
tough. That's tough to do.
yeah, that's the difference. Is like I've kind of had a complex for a while, and that's fine admitting to it. But
Yeah.
then now I don't want to come across as arrogant. I want to learn how to be confident without being taken as an asshole.
I have the same problem. I come off on a regular basis as being cocky. So
Yeah.
stream's having some issues. I don't know if you guys have noticed the live
Oh yeah, I
broadcast.
just saw it. But
Just out of nowhere.
My favorite reply to what Wandering Lisa said, where men only want one thing and it's disgusting. The best response ever was, then wash it.
Then wash it. I saw that the other day. That's funny.
Oh, Spud Gun just said it. Yeah.
Well, we're on this subject, and we're not ever going to get off of this subject. I've never seen the chat this involved in what we're talking about. Yeah, I mean, I hear it in Monkey's voice. He's gotten more MGTOW as time has gone by. He never really advocated like he does now. Even Jack has kind of come around to the unfairness of it all. But yeah, my personal perspective is when it comes to age isn't that big of a deal. It's just a number. Once you get past a certain point, once you get past, maybe 28 or so, it's totally irrelevant. I would have no problems dating somebody who's 28.
Well, that's the other thing too, is like having lost so much weight has kind of given me a lot of energy. So like,
Yeah.
I'm just energetic too. I'm not a flirt either. And that's the other thing. People misunderstand what is me being friendly with flirting. like sometimes I have to figure out how to really make it clear that that's the difference. And I have a hard time with that right now. I do, because I don't know what I'm being too friendly or not. Because I smile at a person and they're just like, I've had to be careful on the train. I'm just saying I carry stuff on me now.
Yeah, you have to be safe.
Yeah, I do. And I didn't think it was that big a deal. Like there's times where I'm like, you know, I am bravely going without my mask. It was my one way to strike in my country. I haven't been arrested yet, and I haven't had my ass kicked yet. But I was just like, fuck this mask. I feel like I'm wearing the alien slime zone. And so I was like throwing it in the trash because I don't want to have snot on my face anymore.
Yeah.
So I was a little bit aware that there was that fear, like the legit fear of somebody actually attacking me for that reason. But then I realized that no, there's another reason that people are following me a little bit more. I'm like, okay, well, you know what? I always have a flashlight on me because we don't actually carry guns up here. We do have them, but we don't carry them on you on the train. It's not advised.
Just a quick note here. The stream, I refreshed the stream.
Ooh.
And it seems to have balanced out now. So
that's
if
good,
you're seeing anything funky happen, just do a
quick refresh.
A quick refresh on the
everyone
stream.
Disappeared. I'm like, where'd you go?
It should come right back up again. I'm looking at the transmit bar from my machine out to the real world, and I just told
I'm looking
YouTube
at it on the screen, and yeah, it dropped and now it's back up.
Yeah, it's back to a solid bar again. So I just told YouTube, hey, YouTube, smack, 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 and it was like, oh. So it seems to be okay. Again, not my fault.
Yeah, Cynic, I'm just gonna say I used to dress up like a hobo on purpose because it's the one way to get people to kind of just leave you alone. I'm not saying I would dress dirty. I just dress down. Yeah. It works sometimes. People just leave you alone, or they think you're crazy or something.
All right, that seems kind of dramatic.
It's fun. I mean, I don't look that bad. It's honestly just, you know, maybe my coat's a little bit oversized.
Yeah. Jackson chat. Hey, Jack. Well, yeah, I mean, I used to be huge. I was 350 plus. So I know that feeling of dressing. You first of all, there's no fashion at that weight anyway. You know, try to buy something that looks good when you're that heavy. It's almost impossible to find anything that looks good on you. You know, even stuff that covers you well, you're not going to find anything that's particularly snazzy. It's just, you know, it's just plain basic clothes at that point. So not like I'm a fashion statement now, but clothes obviously look much better on me now that I'm 221 as of yesterday. So I didn't weigh myself today. I can't get on the scale when my back hurts. That's the excuse I've been making. I don't want to step up on that scale because my back hurts.
I weigh about 90 kilos, which I think is like 200 pounds, just under.
Okay. How tall are you?
Like 5'10".
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that's good rate. That's good.
It's unevenly distributed, which is a bit annoying because like it's all in my belly. Like no part of my body except my belly is fat. Like my arms, my legs, my face are not fat at all. But then there's my belly.
You have a dad bod?
I guess if that's what it's called.
Yeah, that's what they're calling it. You have a little bit of a what they call a spare tire. Yeah.
I actually don't weigh myself as much. Part of the trick with me in losing weight was not playing the number game, because the number game is the difference between you eating a sandwich and you taking a shit. And that's the honest to God truth of the matter. I play the weight game based off of where my belt buckle is, or my button on my pants, because when that thing looks like it's loose, that's kind of the key. Like, yeah, I've lost weight. Then I weigh myself, because that's usually the sign that it's been like 4 pounds. That's usually the sign it's been 4 pounds.
I do the same thing as you do. I have pairs of pants, jeans, that are at different sizes. And I can kind of monitor my weight by how tight those jeans are. Oh, these are a little tight. I have to go up one, start losing some weight. Then they get loose and I get back down to the ones that I was wearing before. It's kind of the same thing.
Yeah, it's just it's a more useful way of doing it. honestly, because like I said, the difference is between you eating a sandwich and taking a crap.
Read what Wondering Lisa put on chat.
I won't say my weight, but I will say the scales weep in fear when I approach them.
No, don't step on me. Yeah. See, what saved me through all of this, even when I was very heavy, is my height. If I wasn't a little over 6'3", it would have been worse. But my height kind of saved me because it, I got heavy everywhere. I didn't get the spare tire like most men do. Most men get weight in the belly first. Most women get weight on the hips first. But I just got heavy everywhere. I had heavy arms. You can see pictures of me back when I was heavy and where I am now, and my head was fat. My legs, everything. I was just overall, my entire body was just too big.
So the face is actually my metric for when a person is like fat, as opposed to like having like a bit of a slight overweight issue. Like if your face is fat, then I think, okay, the person is fat, because like that's where I'm looking. If I can see it in your face, then you've gotten fat.
That's quite the PC you're rocking there, Hammer. Thank you. I'm still waiting on a graphics card, but yeah, it gets done what I need to get done. So it's a good gaming machine. It's a good workstation for screwing around with editing and stuff like that. So it does what I need it to do. It is 10:02, ladies. Ladies and jelly spoons. So do you guys want to call it? We're in a good talk. I'm afraid of just cutting out now, but all three of us are pretty tired people tonight.
I'm fine either way, but I mean, you guys are more tired than I am, because it's at least the middle of the day for me. So I'll let you guys decide.
How you doing, Jen? Jen's muted because she's talking to her brother.
No, my brother had an order, so I kind of mute the, it's not a big deal. It's just noise in the background. So
gotcha.
I do. Yeah, see, there you go.
I knew that was coming.
Which is fair enough.
How you feeling? You okay?
I am tired, but it's up to you guys.
Well, why don't we talk about James? That's a short subject, and we can get out of here with that. One of my favorite actors, who I thought was a cool guy, James Cromwell, who starred in many excellent movies, and is a great character actor, and is somewhat near and dear to my heart as playing the character of Zefram Cochrane in the Star Trek franchise, has decided to superglue himself to a coffee counter.
Nice.
In protest because they charge more for organic milk.
Well, it's for vegan milk, which is technically nut milk, because vegan milk doesn't exist.
That's true.
It's nut milk.
So it's like almond milk or something like that?
Yeah. But they don't have the capacity to understand that the reason it's more expensive is because almond milk is more expensive. It's more expensive to produce. It also creates more water shortages, and it's not as good for the environment. And they also use
not really milk.
super glue. They use super glue, which is a petroleum product.
He used super glue, a petroleum product, to attach himself to the counter. This person who's concerned about veganism used a petroleum product. It's like wearing leather shoes. Dude.
It's also their argument is they're going to go with nut milk, which uses up more water. And I get the I don't want to eat meat thing because they're vegans, but this is one of those arguments I have with the vegans is like, if you drank milk, if the way that we ranch was different and we were free ranging our milk cows, because they're there to help fertilize the ground. The North America needs cows. I don't know if they know this. They do. We do.
I just had a random thought. If a vegan gives a blowjob, are they allowed to swallow?
I
mean,
wonder if they
technically
question.
not.
Yeah,
I guess it's an animal product.
It
technically.
is.
It is 100% an animal product. I mean, they can't even eat an egg, so
They can't
Yeah.
even swallow their own saliva. Technically, right?
Saving the world by using more water. Great.
that's my brother in the background. They're saving the world by using more water. Yay!
We need to get him on the
Basically what I need.
show. He's speaking some truths
Yeah.
back there. Yeah. So
It's like pee soon. Don't worry, it's safe.
I have to get up. I have to get into Google to see if he is still. Whenever I bring something up on Google, I freeze our avatars, so the little whatchamacallit, little bubbles stop working while I'm on Google. But I'll just take a
Yeah.
quick, I don't know if is listen to this search. Is James Cromwell still glued
My
the
food
counter?
I'm higher up in the food chain. Yeehaw!
It was a Starbucks. James Cromwell superglued his hand to a Starbucks counter to protest Starbucks upcharge for vegan milk. But they don't say if he's still glued. How long has he been there?
I think they unglued him. Someone said something about having to bring people in with products to help unglue him, and
Acetone.
yeah. Yeah, yet again, it's one of those ones where I might have to Google that one. But yet again, isn't that another petroleum?
I'm going to Google that right now. Is acetone, Acetone, right? Acetone?
Acetone.
Petroleum. Is acetone a petroleum product? Acetone is a naturally occurring compound, also known as propanone. Acetone is found in volcanic gases, plants, and byproducts of forest fires. So no, it is not a petroleum product.
No, that's fine. That's fine. It's okay. Not everything is. It's just
they got rid of the petroleum product with a natural. But
it's also it is also probably toxic though. That does sound like something that eats away at things. So also toxic.
Yeah.
Probably more toxic than the petroleum product, to be honest.
Can't imagine it's good for your skin. I can understand wanting to protest. Okay, protest, go out front, get your little picket sign, walk up and down, be your protester. I'm all for that. But if you're on property, he's got, those are two charges right there. That's willful destruction of property by supergluing himself. So that's one charge. Second is trespassing.
Yeah.
Because if they tell him to leave and he doesn't, that's it, man. You're trespassed. That's a ticket. That's going to court. There's no left and right about it.
It's also the irony of it. Like, so they're arguing about the charge difference, right? And everyone just likes to point out that like these lazy fuckers could just make it themselves because you can buy their coffee either ground from their store or at the supermarket. Any supermarket
Take it home and
has
make it, right?
Right? And then you buy your nut milk and then you just steam it. It's just putting it in a pot and then heating it up and then just maybe whisking it a little bit so it's a little bit foamy and then you put it in your coffee and that's it. But you know why they won't do it? They're lazy and it would still cost that much.
Mm-hmm.
Because it would still cost that much. They also wouldn't know how. I think the problem is a lot of people don't know how to cook and they don't want to.
Yeah. Well, I assume that he's away. It happened 17 hours ago, according to CNN. That's when they reported it. So maybe 18 hours away. So I can't imagine being stuck to the counter for 18 hours. They must have gotten put a
just make him pay for the counter.
Put a rope around him, rip him off, and everyone just ignores him as he stands there. You got to go to the bathroom? Sorry, dude. You stuck yourself to the counter, man. You have to go right there.
Now you know what it feels like to be a homeless man, and you're arguing over like a surcharge.
We give him a coffee cup. He can pee in that.
Well, what if it's the other one?
That's not
Then
going to
coffee for you folks. Okay.
Not going to be like, well, I mean, if he's at a coffee house, he's probably having some
Okay,
know.
listen, there
It makes
was
you-
this one time that somebody was like, people drink coffee that came from a cat's asshole.
Isn't coffee a diuretic?
Yes, it'll make you pee.
Yeah.
So yeah, he could be in trouble if he doesn't get off that counter in due time. Oh, Check Your Logic just stopped by. Hey, Check. Welcome to the end of the show, buddy. I think we should get out of here.
Yeah.
I think we've done enough damage for one night. So, all right, let me go ahead and finish up. Oh, that's a little loud. Thanks for everybody in chat. Tonight was great. We had a lot of interaction. I really enjoyed myself talking with you guys, and we've had a pretty big crew. So thanks for everybody for stopping by. If you can't get enough of the zoo, we're on every Wednesday, and meetings are on every evening, including weekends, with most shows starting 11:30 p.m. Eastern, 7 days a week. Hosts and start times are listed in the description down below. We will be back next Wednesday at 9 p.m. as usual with more sex talk, because it's not a show unless we talk about sex. So we'll do that next week. I promise we'll do it next week. I hope you guys enjoyed the show, and we'll see you again next week. Have a great night, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.